Alright. Don't want to go too long before starting. So, let me just pull this up on... I hear myself too many times. Alright. Good, I'm just curious. Who's on? The friends. Anyone doing something fun? Oh. Okay. So, as you can see, we have the eye mask on now because it's probably my favorite thing to wear. I got, I don't need to do this. I'll have that on there though because I don't need to do this right now. Oh, does not matter actually, I can't abandon it. I need to do that in the future. I got those 3 dungeons, which we'll do at a point. Don't know why I have that on there still. Probably for the leaves. Oh, that's because I was doing my relic weapon months ago. And then I got cactus piss because of this. So I'll forever have cactus pith on me. I'm gonna need to clear out some of this sooner or later. Maybe. I'm so excited for once we finish off Endwalker and I can sell all those and see how much I accumulate. Because I'm mainly just going for the gill as often as I can. But I need to do this. We're in Post-MSQ as of right now. And we have 11 quests. 1 dungeon. Let me just try and get my voice feeling ready.
Come to see how we're getting on.
Yes, come to see how we're getting on.
We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here.
But I mean, you're the one who's going to take over, right?
Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future.
Potentially.
But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches.
So your jaw aches. Crazy.
The reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Do everything
Aye,
she wouldn't.
Commander.
There you are. I've been searching all over for you. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
I just wanted to minimize the quest list because it's so bright off to the side. So you'll see some dropped frames every now and again
Might
because
you
of that.
be interested in a spot of adventure?
Spot of adventure.
After all, we were adventurous before we were scions, were we not?
Well, I still am, but
After routing the Imperials and liberating
how it is.
Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
maybe. Twist my arm, why don't you? Quest accepted. I've been so ready to do story. Right then, let's go and find Master Levier. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetherite. And we'll be along shortly. See you there. So, obvious fun little fact that I've doubtless mentioned before. Sage is my favorite job. But, I'm considering making my main job on this channel, on this character, warrior. I also have like a really cute warrior fit and design that I want to go with. So like I'm excited to get that underway and working. It's like an all green vibe, but there's like a specific weapon I'll need, which this is what I'll be using during Endwalker as well. But I won't be able to use it until post Shadowbringers, sadly. So it's not like my fit's going to be, you know, there from the start. But Endwalker, any side content, leveling, hunts, whatever, I'll be that. We'll go everything to Omni 90 as time goes on, or Omni 100, because I don't think I'll get, I think I'd get maybe 3 jobs to 90 before dawntrail comes out, at most. I want 1 DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer. Which ones those are going to be, don't know. Well, warrior would be my tank. Sage would be my DPS. I don't know what my... Or Sage would be my healer. I don't know what my DPS would be. But we'll get that all figured out. Greetings, little. 'Twould seem we are accompanied. We are to accompany Arnvald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy, and Theodoric sat the throne. A uniquely brutal despot, by all accounts. That he was. A king of ruin, suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rag's Reach being burned to the ground. Later in the later years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unforeseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became property of the king. And it's said that those royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty. You assumed correctly. And I would be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known. Others must surely have gone in search for your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we wouldn't be the first to make the attempt following Alamigo's liberation. More than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dusk till dawn, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it came. And the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. Pardon me. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into decades-old mystery. Tell me, the thought doesn't set your heart racing. Let's go. You've now earned the emote box. Oh, what? Papa. Okay. 370. I actually don't know if this is better or not. I don't remember. I'm not seeing what the... I'm guessing because I'm at 347 right now, I'm not hitting that average. So, oh yeah, item level 380. Oh, this is actually better. I'm so blinded that this says item level and then the number right there. I'm just, it's fine. Ignore me. Black Mage. And an Ellison by that manner. The news of the Doman and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the Imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion, which means the Gallians must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arnvald, have we any clue as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't gonna get us anywhere. So we'll probably need to ask around. Would that be another way of saying no? Yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay visit to the allied archivists and request access to the records of seized from the Imperials. The Gallians are meticulous about such things. If they uncover the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodoric's days. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you would be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful. So be sure to listen well. Arnvald, pray track your luck in the fringes and the peaks whilst Little makes the rounds in the Alamigan quarter. And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilbrad's Gate. The Alamigan Quarter. Ba 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 ba. Oh, what is oh, tonight's Mount Monday. Ooh.
Hello, sir.
In this place? No. In this palace? Not me, lass. Surely, you've heard stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up at the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from atop those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed far away from the palace as possible.
Alright. Now let me lock this. Doo-doo. So I looked at what, now the reason everything felt a little, it felt both right and wrong for my hotbar is because I have everything, or I had everything set up the way that I had it before I hit level 90. But I have, you know, the spaces for what I will need in the future. So I just have them on their base things. Cause I was trying to like look around. I was just doing some random testing, and I'm like, oh no, this does feel a little different. And I adjusted them a little bit better. Now the only thing I forgot was where Pepsis went, which is I believe is the name of the AoE heal. But that is all settled and works out well now.
I served the king. I served at the pleasure of the king, Theodric. And live to tell the tale. One of the palace's guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark.
Oh, let me just do
It was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which, of course, we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in that palace, head down the street and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe.
You want to hear an old maid's tale, old maid's story, do you? Well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow, and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I offered to work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. Fun. Okay, well, we found the one guy that we actually needed to talk to.
Yes, I am Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have dredged up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet if Alamiga was to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take you know Theodric's paranoia and the public execution of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturges to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family. A magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by the nightmares. If others of Theodric's blood were prone to share his madness, mayhap it is a kindness that his monarchy ended with him.
Oh, I got a new mount. Because of FC event. I got this guy. I'm so cool. It's like one of my favorite looking things now. I don't even know what it is. It's so cool. I don't remember where it's from.
Since we are all here, why don't we share what we've learned?
Allow me to begin then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of the fantastic treasure, and I found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself. But I find it rather unlikely, so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you, Little? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Algiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison. But he said not of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her yarn, or do you think? Her yarn, do you think, or did you believe him, Little? His fear seemed genuine. If I was afraid, then that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Don't be so hasty, don't be so hasty. Ernod's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Ehrenwald, you spoke of a light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? Wasn't all pretense, I swear it. But you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamega mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew up, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you'd see in pureblood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Oh. In the end, she turned me out to the streets, and I was left to hunt the alleyways of Alamigo. A failed child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about my years that followed is that I survived. But I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me to the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arnvald. And I apologize. That cannot have been a pleasant thing to recall. But I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Little, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arnvald's noble cause, and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Then I should be glad to tell you my theory of the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear. Let's go with... I guess I'll go... aiming? If it's 370, my gear's 385. I'm not gonna be really getting much out of it. Maybe glam, but that's really it. Actually, maybe it would be better if we first adjourned to a more suitable location. In case of a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene in the southern edge of the Loch Seld. Ba 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 do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Da da do 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 do. Oh, do I have the portrait set up for this? I don't. I'm gonna just nope. I should just set like a really quick one up, I guess. Let me do battle stands. Oh wait, but I didn't have a grin on. Would the smirk be better? There we go. We're gonna do the blue sky. No, we're gonna do. I actually don't know what vibe I want. There we go. Nope, not comic. Oops. Okay, we'll do that for now. Just nice and simple. Bum bum bum. Forgive me, 'twas not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wish to have the lock in sight when I explain things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Onboard Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines. And this, believe it or not, was a site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the Fifth Astral Era. From what we know of that period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by the war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace, mentioned by Theodric's former scribe, was not a reference to the prison, but to the palace still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage explorers. Theodric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that the entrance, or any entrance to the old city, will have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they do not. Little, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? And while you do that, Arnvald and I will seek an enscrolled portal within the palace. Ow. Take out Sildra for this. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum.
You discover a passage. It appears to lead to the lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out what goes on.
Where it's going? Oh, hello there, random person. Trixie kiddo. Summoner?
You come to a worn stone door, standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found the entrance of the subterranean ruins.
Listen, it's Alfino. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a teleportation portal concealed by the enchantments. The markings indicate it leads to an underground cavern. Why would I say caravan? That's stupid.
What news on your end?
And you believe it leads into the ruins? Then, I dare say, we are able to meet within. Go on ahead through the door.
By the way, I took the liberty of calling an old friend for help. I guarantee she's both dependable and discreet. We'll see you soon.
Ah, healer Q times. How beautiful. Alright, so that's what our adventure, or our quick portraits look like. And because he's a warrior, I don't have to worry nearly as much at the moment. You know what? Let me focus him. Which I should probably put my focus in a little bit of a better spot. Hello, Axel. How are you doing? Pardon me. This is like even more irritating tickle in my throat today. I could just be hitting that. Getting better. Couldn't sit at my PC for weeks. Then a week at the hospital. Holy shit. I hope your, whatever was going on is significantly better. Hospital, trips like that are one of the worst things. So I hope you have a speedy recovery. Like 4 stays here. Jeez. I haven't had like a stay in a little while, but I've had times like that before. It's not fun. But I'm glad that you're out of it at the moment. Hopefully, you know, you can go through the rest of the year all hale and healthy. Or hale and whole. However they say in this game. Trying fair. Oh, hydro pull, hydro pull. Oh, hydro push, hydro push, hydro push, hydro push. No, let me just pop this out for them. I'm sure it has, it's got like that nice feeling to be back in your own home though, like in your own bed and such, so hopefully that feeling is, keeping the mind happy. That's about it. It really is. God, I remember when I had my last long stay. This is a few years ago now, but the night that I got home, I was like, I was able to take a shower. I had food that like I could eat and not feel sick with. Freaking being in my own bed, oh, wanted to cry. I think the shower though is like the best feeling of it all. Oh, absolutely. It's like, showers just literally, you can feel all the crap washing away, and it's the best feeling. I'm curious about their... Okay, working for Omni. Working for Omni. Only has 2 fully leveled. Technically only 1 if you think about it. Pardon me. Getting close to Omni? Ooh. Oh, how's it feel to be playing games again and stuff? How, what, job are you working on currently for Omni? 3 healers, all casters, Reaper, 2 tanks, and 4 crafters. So good. That login when you hear, like, the character selection. Oh, so perfect. Working on Monk. Ooh. Alright, how does it feel playing? Because it's like one of my least favorite classes, if not my least favorite one at the moment. And I just don't, I don't know, maybe Black Mage might be my least favorite. Buttons, you're really digging it? Ooh, fair. I always end up thinking, I'm like, I like dump on Monk so often that I know when I start playing it, I'll be like, oh, this is a really fun job. Just finished Astro, which was all the buttons. Oh yeah, Astro to Monk is a complete 180. You have nothing and you have everything. But I also love Astro, so it's like a funny everything to me. The old one. So Astro was a good fit. Ah, fair. I'd say out of the healers, my top two are Sage and Astro. Which, when it comes to Dawntrail, I'm actually considering running as Astro on this character. Sage will still be your go-to healer, though. Fair. Sage is definitely my go-to, but because I went through Shadowbringers and Endwalker as it, I think I want to heal at a different pace. I'm like a White Mage. I've actually almost never done a lot of White Mage. If we get Green Mage, I'll probably be playing that. Oh. Green Mage is, I'm hoping, I want that buff mage vibe so badly. See, I'm still like in between of trying to figure out what I will actually run for Dawntrail, because I want to be a tank to a degree. Avoid Major Warrior unlocked. I mean, fair. Warrior's my favorite tank, and I want to go through Dawntrail and Endwalker as a tank. But like, healers are a need at the beginning of expansions, so that's kind of why I'm gonna probably do one. Tank in this X pack. Fell in love with Paladin. Paladin is so I'm leveling up Paladin on both my characters right now, and it is so much more enjoyable than I gave it credit for. I just realized I'm like the only small. Everyone else is just this tall, burly guy. Not me though. Is that gear or accessories? No, I should have gone with it. I didn't focus on the fact that I said accessories. Oh, I'm stupid. I was main tank for 15 years and raid leader in WoW. So I hung up my tank jersey for a while. That's fair. What do you think of the difference between tanking in the games? I've only played a small bit of WoW. I was a healer and a DPS for the time that I played. I couldn't get behind doing tanking on there. But I just prefer 14 over WoW overall. And WoW is superior, but everything else in 14 takes the cake. Fair. To a monk man or big monk man. I don't got any of those leveled up, so that's not needed. tank damage in WoW is a joke. In what, like, the amount of damage a tank does, healer is worse. God, yeah, I hated heal. So I'm like, I'm usually a healer or a tank in anything that I play. Like, I want to either be healing or be taking all the damage. And I rarely ever DPS. But WoW, I was like, oh, I need to DPS because healing wasn't fun fully. And God, no, I wasn't gonna tank that. Maybe one day in the future I'll give WoW a go again, but that's probably a big no-no for me. Yeah, healer DPS unfortunately is so much better than WoW. Like, if you compared the endgame raids, it clears that healer DPS is more important. Oh, 100%. Like, I was having this conversation with my friend yesterday who is, like, very big into WoW and was a WoW player for longer, basically his whole life, and now does a lot of 14 stuff. I think watching, like, WoW, like, world first raid races is so fun. But if I'm gonna watch, like, raiding in general, I'm watching 14. It just feels more enjoyable. Because I like that, you know, everyone kind of has to do a little bit more for damage. Ow, wait. Also, my biggest thing with WoW, I don't like, oops. I don't like the way, like, the transmogs look and stuff. Like, I love the way the, glamours and outfits are in 14 so much more. I actually feel like my character looks to my taste. Because that's really what it comes down to. It is like a complete taste thing. So yeah, that'll be the upgrade there. Yeah, I'm looking at like top players in the last boss WoW right now. 3 of the healers did less than 0.5% of the raid's damage, or 2% of the top. That's wild. I was honestly like, as someone who is a primary healer when it comes to stuff, that makes me so sad that, like, our contributions are literally less than, like, ever wanted or needed, considering. It has 9.5% overall. 60% of top DPS. Yeah, it's wild. Gotta put some more respect on my healers out here. World of Warcraft, aka Blizzard. Make it really matter in 14 stream. Exactly. That's why I'm a 14 streamer, not a World of Warcraft streamer. Like, that's a crazy good amount in comparison. 3 comms. Let's go. Jim both. And WoW will always have a special place in my heart now that Chris Metzen is back.
Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin. Or
It
what is left of them.
does. I'm excited to
work of
see
terrible
where they're
magics,
gonna
I
go in
fear.
the future with these new expansions. Maybe that'll make me enjoy it. But I also thought Dragonflight would have made me enjoy the game, and the only time I've really ever been like, oh, I want to play World of Warcraft was with like the classic re-release.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our
Fortune?
fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Like, we're gonna need to do a lot of reworks and retcons and shit, guys.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Lohnwald and I tried to do our fair share, but I fear you ended up bearing the bulk of the burden as usual. You truly led the way with your adventuring prowess, my friend. Aye, without your help, I reckon we'd still be fumbling about in the dark. I'm glad I called on you.
Calling for bed. Okay, have fun cooking. Thank you for lurking.
I must say, I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What, like how you were reeling at the sight of the floating specter, you mean? I wish you could seen the look on your own face, Alf, you know.
Fantasia full sport. Hell yeah. Honestly, it was just a dumb video that I was like, I want to make a funny thing. I'm going from a race that's clowned on to a race that's clowned on. Let's just make the jokes funny and go full bite into it.
Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that's all that matters.
Sounds good.
All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Elise should be the first. Seconded. She is bound to be delighted. If I am no longer needed, then I shall take my leave. Of course, don't let us keep you. Thanks again, and say hello to Vma for me.
Vma for me. Vma? Vma, something like that.
Now then, there is to be a meeting of the representatives across Alamigo, so Lisa is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out?
On the Algonost. Look at my wingspan. I'm bird. I am horse. I am deer. I'm an elk horse thing with wings. Pardon me.
Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the answer. You're joking? The Mad King's Trove? I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have little Nalfino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with all of it, I vote it goes towards alleviating the suffering of the Alamigos poor. Gods, if they're as much as you say. Anvil did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route and to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there is one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alfinode. I don't have a head for the details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gear won't solve everything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alfino. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. Let me take a sip really quick. Deep breaths, tell me what happened. A mob's gathered outside the headquarters. They've started making demands. You'd best come see for yourself.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will!
It's Monago.
We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
They're not
Bring her
protecting
out.
her. They're gonna bring her
Bring
to
her out.
justice. Probably, maybe.
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fedorla.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there!
Oh,
I knew it.
language.
I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye, and my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Brothers and sisters.
Hey, who's this?
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
Is
My
the
friends,
boy.
you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance. But we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried?
That.
I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
He's got a point.
I know you're right, I do. But I can't.
Bum bum bum. My thanks, Raban. Listening to that anger, I could feel myself being swept away. 'Tis a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas the same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to our victory. But now war is over. All is unspent. All the unspent fury is beginning, or is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Galleons. It started with insults more often than someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. Something something. It instantly skipped. Let me see if I can find that right. Oh, she just sighed, I believe. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna give up before I've even began. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we planned a summit of sorts. And we invited the Ananta, and the Quiquin to participate. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The man of Fodola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let us execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do it. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated and everyone who didn't resist? There'd be no one left. And we'd be no better than Theodric or Xenos. Xenos. Begging your pardon,
Might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? I caught a glimpse of her past. A moment of it anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, unforgivable, but in some ways. She's a victim of circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. Alright, speak with the prison guards, when you're ready, and I'll come to join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facilities. They gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Do not let your emotions color your judgment when she does.
Alright, I'm going to take a quick little break because I need to use the restroom. So I will be right back. It's just to get this going. Alright, I'll be right back. My goal is to get through 4.1 today. So we're nearing half.
You have the commander's permission to enter then.
Well, well, well. So many visitors.
I look so
Come to
out of
have a
place
good
here.
laugh,
Really funny to
have
me.
you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men! And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fedora. I see you for what you are.
A bloodthirsty savage.
He's like the Guardians and takes out a knife and shanks her.
Papa, I'm so scared, Papa.
Come along, Fadola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right! Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
I like that top she's wearing. It's kind of cool.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
Fruitful tinted lovers.
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
for Dola.
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something. My husband and daughter are in danger.
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of Arn.
We're citizens. We have rights.
Ah!
Father, I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive.
Traitors!
Guy's got a big chin. Where are they getting all these rocks?
Traitors!
Oh.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Hydaelyn, please. You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods. What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself.
Jesus.
Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past?
Yes.
And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
She just echoed.
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
Because I choose to. I usually go with the for those we have lost, for those we can yet save, but no,
Damn you. Damn you all.
I'm just giving my real life answer. Is you just gotta do it.
You still have time for
You have that choice.
Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Echoes of an echo, I believe. I have 6 more after this.
I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. And I've found something new to think about. I don't know about you, Little, but that vision only comes to me every now and then. From the way Fordola kept wincing, though, I get that feeling she's having them almost all the time. And that's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between those who are born with the Echo and those who are artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring the research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? Alkonost. Wing. General Alden's inside, aye? Will you be joining him?
Yes.
What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it?
Yes, and as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Anvald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her?
We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them, to be frank. Welcome to Scion's expert assistance. If you have any time to lend a hand.
Yeah, let me, you know. Oh, I can go up here. Oh, that's where they did the work, huh? I was wondering if I could jump off to anything.
The device which Cryo was held seems more ominous. Now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one is marked Master Subject.
The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All their pods are designed to drain the ether from the occupant. Save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior's been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I could not tell you.
So many bodies. Oh god.
Every one of them. A victim of these experiments.
Few show any signs of external injury. From what we've been able to determine, they've perished from forcible ether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. Oh god, I didn't... Oh Jesus. Over there... Same for there and here. Holy shit. I wasn't observant back in the day when I played through this the first time. I don't remember ever realizing it like that.
I know little and less of the science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated. Little, shall we start with you?
Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryl and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entails infusing a single candidate with ether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Kryl, the patterns of her etheric activity would prove the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryl's echo.
I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state.
Kryl is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whisper of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure endangered the same, engineered, oh my god, procedure engineered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola.
The soldiers who guarded Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls.
And the sentries adore every day and night. If she can't help her senses, their thoughts and seeing the past.
But you don't just see the past, you live it, or the emotion, or the pain. Imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again.
Indeed,
As you may recall, Eorzea was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Hydaelyn's past. For Dola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains the request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all that we can of these God's forsaken procedures, and for Dola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. God, the goosebumps are they're right here right now. Teehee. I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting scolded by Raban. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I am doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Elise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his expertise. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority. How much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going through the trouble of winning it back, he might not want to stay. Might he not want to stay? It's a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Little, a moment. My boy. I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Well, I must away and attend to other businesses. Until next time, my friends. I love Pippin. An audience with the Sultana? Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be a perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd like to know all about these, Alfino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Nathal. Well, no question of how to put the Mad King's treasure to good use shows no sign of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Arenvald? I'm at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanama my regards, little. And Oz too, if you please. We shall see you on your return. Now, because Endwalker and Shadowbringers have a much more somber
sad, dark tone to it. I've made the decision that I'm going to be dyeing my character's hair. Maybe changing the cut as well. That part is up for debate. But I'm going to be dyeing their hair for sure. And usually each expansion, I change my hair, my hairstyle, not the color. But this one, I mean, I usually do change the color as well. But it also kind of falls down to the... This is such a night. I love the Chaos Bringer so much. It's hands down maybe my favorite Dark Knight weapon. I'm going to be changing the hair color for sure to a completely different tone. And that will very much so be a different change of pace, but I think it'd be a nice one.
You are expected, my lady. Please proceed.
I was so worried for a second that I had the BRB sign up still.
Ooh.
Last time we were in this position, I was also... Hello, Jin. How you doing?
Interesting times. You have been busy.
I was too a Lala at this point, and you were... someone attempted to murder you.
The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Rauban and his future.
Oh. Well, enough. I was actually here to talk to you about that. Crazy.
All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Uldar home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time.
We know you two have boinked at least
and
once.
Beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Rauban chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears.
Hope you had a good weekend, my friend. Whatever you got up to was
Might
enjoyable.
I have your company for a brief adventure? Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Yes, ma'am. Boing, 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 boing. To the Adventurers Guild. Oh, look at that guy. A little fella right there. He looks so cool. What do you think of Lilira, the merchant's daughter? This is the disguise I don when I wish to leave the palace and observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papa Shan would accompany me, but for this particular outing, I need an advisor, not a minder. That is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life.
and in every corner of Eorzea, I would like to make use of your worldly expertise, experience. I need to do something really quick. There we go. Now let us be on our way. Our first destination is a stone's throw just beyond the gates of Nald. Look, upon this procession of tattered tents, the refugees camp in squalor, at the mercy of the elements, and Thanalan's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people, as it is. And unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Ul'dah. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity. Yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. Your hands have been tied, Your Grace. Yes, my authority is limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I will follow the road to the unholy air. God, I'm not yawning, you are. Have I done my... You know what I should actually do? Which I guess I'll do on my character tonight, because I actually haven't done any of my leveling queues. I need to do my level and my front line on Paladin, but I want to do the challenge log stuff. So I need to do 6 more fates, basically. I haven't done the guild hests, because I actually need to unlock guild hests on this character still, because I keep forgetting to do that. But it's fine. It was here, this woefully unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interests in eastern Thanalan, when an untimely rockside crushed the carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or expertly planned assassination. Raban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' death were orchestrated by the monetarists, we only have brought their heirlings to justice. We could have only brought their heirlings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus, did I plan to strip the merchants of the power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of the consequences of my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price for my naivete. But I am no longer child reciting words from witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarists' damnable games. Forgive my outburst. You are one of the few people whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. Go to the gladiators spot. Oh, a thing that I was actually doing before stream is I'm slowly getting... So I don't have this one set,
which is going to be my warrior probably. I'll probably have to like redo these at a point, but this is my base skin, my warrior, my dancer, my paladin for the moment. It's going to be my sage, and then so on and so forth through all the jobs that I want and will use. My main jobs will have base stuff, and then everything else will have like maybe a double up. I hope they expand the dresser and the glamour plates for dawntrail though. The moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies, and for years I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter of my life. For it was during an official visit to the Colosseum when I first met Raban. The match I had been invited to... Okay, sorry, I just had to check something real quick. Actually, I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. It pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen so rival gladiators. Blinker though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice, and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring, which had arranged Ruban to die on the sands that day. Regardless my intentions, and that Ruban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did. And when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by lies and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Ruban is a man of his word. Though it took me another 5 years of fighting, on the Bloodstain, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but the seat on the syndicate. And then I had my blade. Echo, 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 echo. Nice parry, my boy.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back!
Oh, look at her little right.
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Sham. Raban!
Your Grace.
I love them. They're so cute together.
I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Ul'dah. And so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last. Long live the Sultana, and long live Ul'dah!
Let me just see something really quick. Okay, so this next one does give her, is given from her as well. But cannot express what that means to me. What that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course, but Papa Shan's love for me is that of a grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governess, I cannot turn to a bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raban, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. Money. Okay, so quickly, because we're nearing the 2-hour mark, we're just gonna quickly reset the game because we know for some reason OBS and Final Fantasy don't always mix well, and it causes me to have audio issues at times. I hope everyone who is watching or lurking is having a good day. If you are new, please do sub. I don't usually do this that often, but you know, hope you guys are doing wonderfully. I'm just looking at something really quick. I had gotten a notification and wanted to respond. God, seeing the fact that like we are only 20 away from max is crazy. We're 20 away from max on 3 characters or 3 jobs right now. What healer would take what DPS? We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan Swan for long, and there are other places I would visit. To the Arzaneth Ossuary. Got it. Take me to the Black Mage Guild, please. That is where I would like to be now. I want to go pew, 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 and cast a big old flare. When the calamity threatened, Raban led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartanu, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louisoix would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting the shrine during each of my little excursions here. I seek the blessing of Thal reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as a sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in hundreds of battle for the good of Eorzea, in much the same way I believe the measure of the monarch lies
how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be Sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path, little. With Alamigo now freed from Imperial chains, I see a way to aid the refugees. Already many displaced Alamegans seek to begin a long trek home. To facilitate the process, I have made a small contribution to an artisan school in Ralga's Reach for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it would take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time Ul'dah Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Not seek the advice of one who employs refugees? A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the syndicate, and he is one of the few people who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Mandeville? See, this is where it would be different if you did the Mandeville quests. Your character would be like, oh yes, I am familiar with them, but I want to do all the Mandeville stuff at once. Or like in a little Mandeville saga, so we'll be waiting for the end of Dawntrail for me to be doing that. Well, he is a most generous man, if something of an eccentric. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only glad to receive us. We have 4 more after this, I believe. Which means we're making really nice progress for today. I have ridden aboard public airship before, but this shall be my first to visit the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Hello. To the Gold Saucer. I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did come here to fritter away the royal coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. If you say so. I believe this is where we'll be meeting Lord Mandeville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? Hello, my name is Mandeville. Hello, everybody. My name is Godbert Mandeville. I wish I could do a better Markiplier impression, because that's exactly what I would do. My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself, available at such short notice. When the Sultana herself comes calling, there is no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thanalan. My eyes itchy. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland, and you are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might be best distributed?
The unusual circumstances of our meeting, and your grace's choice of companion, will suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice is stop taxing Ul'dah's wealth, and to save Alamigan refugees is terrible, terrible idea.
You oppose my proposition?
Most emphatically, I agree with your grace that the refugees must have housing and employment. But what profit is there for Ul'dah in this arrangement?
Profit? After all you've done for Girabarnes is placed, I thought you the very last person to seek to benefit from their misfortune.
Forgive me, your grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is born of pity, to intend to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And there we must consider Ul'dah's own and downtrodden. Should they hear of you spending the nation's coin not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill.
Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interest of the people of Ul'dah.
Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamegans. Even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects.
You have given me much to ponder, Lord Mandeville. I thank you for your candor. Prophet. The thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivete will not do any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Little, you are perchance acquainted with with any successful merchant. If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Ordinarily, I would not trust any agent of the East Aldona Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to the distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you would travel as an adventurer, are you wont to do, as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await a report by Aetheryte in Ul'dah. A fair journey to you, little, and a swift one, if you please.
Doodaloo. Cliffhanger. How much is the teleport that I need right now? Yeah, I ain't spending almost 1,000 gil. Hey, bring me to Limsa, my friend. Am I taller than you? Aww. Dancer. Oh, no adventure play. Wait, was I level 90 though? It always confuses me. Ooh, I have to do the Christmas event still. I'll do that eventually. $300 to Kugenai sounds a lot more feasible to me. And wow, I only have 360. Actually, I need to check something really quick. What is my warrior at for I need boots still. Interesting. King of the Castle. Oops. That's another mission for a dungeon. Okay, I can get the boots. I know I can't do the whole thing, but that is fine. But this will be my fit for the time being as a warrior.
Greetings, honored madam. Will you be entering the Ripper Bazaar offices? Yes. Wonderful.
Little, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Or are you here on business?
Business, my good sir. I beg your pardon, Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how to best invest the wealth of Ul'dah? My dear Little, I have you to thank for this recognition. I am sure, and I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master upon master's profit? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better acquainted for the adversary, for advising Her Grace than Chairman Lolarito, a man whose excursions are said to fill his garderobe with gold. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you. Say, at the Science Former headquarters in Thanalan? The Waking Sands would seem suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Little, and may your dealings prove fruitful. I'll come and get that at a point. There'll be a day where I just do, like, dungeons and stuff. So. Is it you? 2 Limsa, please, for 300 gil. And then what we'll be doing is going to the airship. Oh, why did I? I'm a little stupid sometimes. I got this, don't worry. Ulda. Oh, I just know it's a little... I mean, it's actually not a bad looking... bracelet, bangle, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely not my style. Sprint. Santa Claus. Bear Thunderfist. Oh, it's him. I had a dungeon with him before.
Welcome back, little. Did you find your merchant friend? Did your merchant friend have? You finally asked about. Let's go, Danny boy.
Time to play through one of my favorite games of the year.
Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? But Lolorito, and you agreed to this? I'm aware of his standings in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the monetarist at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of that man. I must learn how to treat him, to treat with him if I am to rule Ulda efficiently.
Have you played any of it yet, or did you like literally just get it?
Very well, I will meet with Lolorito and let us go on ahead. It's the waking sands and prepare for his coming.
Eorzea, let's go.
So this is where the Scions first congregated. I had many tales, but never had an occasion to visit. To work then, the hour of meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have appointed room to ourselves.
I'm curious to see who you enjoy playing as more, if it's Pete or Miles. I prefer playing as Miles, because he actually has my favorite suits.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed.
The powers are both cool either way.
If it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
Hey, you Lolorito?
You have made your point. 'Tis indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira? Hmm?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I am glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate.
Ah.
But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Uldar. Huh, I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
Ooh. Which one? Let's go with the Saltery. I remember what each place was.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
Indeed. What do you say,
The local
so-and-so?
citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ons of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders, just as Your Grace desired.
A deal is struck then.
I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Little. I could not have done it without you. Honey.
Securing the Saltery.
Of course, our course is decided, and I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you once more, little, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. My thanks again. Together, we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the people of Alamigo and Uldar both.
To the Alamigan Quarter I go. Do 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 do. But oh.
Pardon me. Little, you're back. What did Nanamo say? Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? So, Raban says he's going to return to Uldar, but she isn't sure what he wants to do. Tells us something we don't know. But I am pleased to hear that she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this is, this plan to revitalize Assaultery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help in another question. After all that has happened, he is ever the last person I would expect to hear to turn to for advice. But on more practical note, Lys, assuming the interim government elects to accept Uldar's proposal, I have one caveat I would like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover the portion of investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Uldar to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Alfino, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? Not be Lord Lolorito? But yes, you do make for a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Saltery residents. Whiskar, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Wat thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything.
Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along a little? I might need you to fill in the details.
Then I shall come as well. Should Wat wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may provide useful. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Do. This is such a cool mount. I love it. I thought they were doing the event currently. Unless that's in like 30 minutes. I'm just getting rid of something off to the side. Where are they at?
What manner of mischief brings you youngins to the old Wat this time, eh?
They want to rebuild the saltery, Grandad. And let's tell him about the details. Or about the deal. Well, bugger me. We've never had a coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan that doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat everyone who goes out near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to call the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Grandad. We'll take care of that. Commander Hex has been talking about setting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Whisker, my lad. Surely would. So does that mean you've gotten better with the blade of yours? I've been training aye, but mostly killing Imperials. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Little? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasts and teach me how to deal with them? Got it. Let's not waste time then. See you by the lock. Whilst you are busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the saltery to its former glory. Good hunting. Good will hunting. Bad will hunting. Right then, Little. I've got a spyglass. And here, you can use it to take a closer look on these pests. Once you've got the measure, tell me what to do, and I'll see how I can get on. Just a little scratch I need to take care of. Hello, game. Wherefore be the weak point? The belly, the leg. Ah, there we go. The Yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Aye, looks like you found a Yabby. They say hitting their shells is like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Vulnerable under the head. Got it. Right. Then wish me luck. Bum, 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 bum. Good job, bud. Thanks, Dizzle. I didn't think. I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. Let's find something else. I think I can handle the Yabbies now, so what shall we try? Something different? What else is out there? What else indeed? his eyeball.
The phobids. Feebad? Like Phoebe.
The Feebad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind the brow. The Feebad, how do I defeat one of those?
Just hit it really, really hard. As hard as you can. Destroy the card within the brow.
Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab right between its eyes then.
Dun, 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 dun. Bonk.
It's not easy fighting with the liberator of Alamigo watching your every move. But I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Ed. I feel a lot more prepared for my patrols now. Anyway, we should head back to the saltery before Grandad starts to worry. I've been snipped into pieces and fed to the yabbies hatchling. Two more. And we are ever closer to getting to Shadowbringers. Might I say, it's quite invigorating being that close to one of my favourite stories ever told. And followed subsequently by my second favourite story ever told in this game, being Endwalker. I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Little here, like... Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad, fine young man. You've become Whisker, fine young man indeed. Too often of late, I hear tales of folk over in the city drunk on victory and hungry for revenge. Their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights for the future on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen.
A weapon for me, crazy. I was crazy once. They put me in a room, a rubber room with rats.
It seems Whisker and has the saltery security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have to discuss the next stop with Master Watt, and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here can be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Alden. Apologies for the interruptions, miss, but the General would like to speak with you at your earliest convenience.
Whereat?
Do not feel obligated to wait around on my account. Remain here and to hammer out the finer details with Watt, and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Uldar. You should go. General Alden asked that you wait for him by the main gate in Alamegan Quarter. My apologies again, miss. Fare you well.
It's funny, I've been struggling to find stuff to watch, like, the past few days, and I'm like, I just want, you know, like something to catch my interest right now, and, you know, my brain goes to YouTube videos, because, you know, I basically live on YouTube and everything, but my dumbass keeps forgetting I'm literally watching Code Geass, and could be watching episodes. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, I want the funny... To be fair, I have been wanting, like, haha, funny laughs. But still, the fact that I could have been watching that instead and forgetting that it's quite literally something very much so enjoyable to watch right now is really stupid. Because like literally this morning I was like, I want to watch something but I don't know what, so I went like to watch old videos that I used to watch, and I was like, oh wow, I could have literally been watching Code Geass. Voiced.
Apologies for the wait.
Yeah, well, no worries.
People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason. Thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
Oh?
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal.
Oh, good God, yep, I remember them.
It would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Death.
But execution is not the answer. Put them in a box forever and let them rot.
You would spare these animals? Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard.
I think them sitting with the knowledge of their failure.
But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
And rot away in a jail cell would probably be the best.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Ul'dah and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain.
What if she fires you? What if she wants a different sword of yours to command? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now, that's settled, Arnvald, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Anata has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vyra. These are the Kliana, the ones that summon the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lise is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Quilana would refuse it out of hand. We'd best go and see for ourselves, Pippin, take command of our forces, and be ready for battle. Little, you've dealt with these Quilana before. Kuliana before. I'd have you at my side. Ba-da-bum-bum. Do 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 do. All right. Little Raban, God, it's good to see you.
Ah, the Slayer has come. We would not have forgotten how you signed against us, the Lady of Bliss. But we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabani a home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta.
It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I ask that you must first surrender any crystal jewelry you may have. Surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word, it will be returned to you when the meeting is over.
We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors.
I reckon that's the closest we're gonna get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords.
Then we have an arrangement. Lead the way to your meeting chambers.
I have the feeling we've welcomed a Viper into our midst. No, that's not until next expansion when we become the Viper. Stupid frogs getting the aiming accessories when you literally have stuff that needs. Stupid man. Anyways.
A little Ruban.
The Kuliana's elders' intentions seem at odds with what we know of her tribe. What do you think, Little? Maybe the Entire can learn to compromise. I believe an understanding can be reached. It is not entirely unheard of. I suppose those who follow Saint Shiva eventually sought reconciliation with Ishgard. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The god must be strengthened. Ideally, with the people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the Scions? I'll round up my comrades and send them to the Alamegan quarter. You can go ahead if you like, little. My thanks. I will see you in the palace.
You know what? I'm gonna teleport there just to save myself that, like, minute.
Little, I've brought reinforcements. Ironvald told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agreed that it would be prudent to call upon Y'shtola and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I'm not familiar with the Kulianum tribe myself, but Alize's reports suggest that they shunned contact with other races, despite it, in fact, even compared to other Anantar. Indeed, this apparent reversal in attitudes is most curious. No one extended a response to our invitation, much less an envoy. And I imagine Lys was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, 'twould seem wise to have both eyes inside and out of the palace. You sure I can stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over the proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We are to join General Alden inside then. Little, do you know of the rear entrance of the palace? On the eastern edge of the city. At atop the stairs, the guard there should be instructed to let us pass. If you're with the Scions, miss, General Alden left orders that you were able to be escorted inside. If you will follow me.
And here we go at the beginning of the end of, or the end of patch 4.1.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lys Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game, and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ragenfrid. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Gia Abania devote themselves to our faith.
And you lost us.
You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of Bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
And this is why you're not allowed here.
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
It's up to us.
Shall protect them from primal influence.
Good work, Ehrenwald.
Gods damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
Oh, look at the little moon Kabunki.
No, you don't!
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Kaliana.
Then they're
There we
going to
go.
be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Ehrenwald to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Ah, whatever she's about, she'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
Oh, we have a whole instance still.
How do we fight without her? Without leaving our allies wide open. You can't stay on the back foot forever. No, damn it. If I think like that, we've already lost. I have the Warrior of Light at my side. We can do this. It's not right, little.
Use deflect to dissipate the ether spheres Lakshmi releases during battle. Be warned, allowing enemies to be controlled by ether spheres will result in failure. Got it. I kind of forgot this was a thing. How well do I do at beating these guys right now? Okay, pretty good. Excuse me?
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
Okay, yeah, they're just gonna keep spawning in. Ooh, big boys. Literally can only do this at the moment.
I shall free you from your hate.
Oh, thanks. No, I got this.
Okay, maybe I don't.
Here.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
I deny my blessing. Because you are not the blessing that we desire. Okay, there she goes.
Where did she go? Stay on your guard.
Wow. Not flee my radiance.
You will all be my dreamers.
Now, Lise, while the primal Lise. I can't run away from this. They need us.
Better we stand and fight together, Alfino. The envoys are in our care, in your care.
There we go. Surely you do not mean to. Very well. I shall see our guest to safety. God be with you. Believe in all of you over there.
While you two stay, there's more than enough strength to addle you both.
You need more than 3 to best a primal, and if we let you fall here, then we'll have to stop her. It's got a point. Pitiful misguided children. Oh no, what am I gonna do here?
Why, I'm the warrior of light and I break free first. My thanks, little. I shall make sure my steel is worth the effort.
Do not your souls weigh heavy?
No, not really.
Nice work, Fodorla. Are you alright, though? Yes, this is nothing.
One thing after another. I'm the only ranged one here who can actually do anything. Ow. Can almost do anything. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Oops, wrong one. What's that? To death. Organs are failing, causing death over time. Oh, that's a thing Lise did.
Why do you cling to your misery?
Because we can.
You're my divine brilliance.
No, we won't.
I was out of control. I'll show us. You have to finish her off.
I need the three of them to do a little bit more damage. I'm literally doing all that I can as a healer.
Here it comes!
Any day now, Lise. Thank you for popping LB. Holy crap, it took her so long to pop LB there.
We did it! We beat her!
As a team. Let me just cast Esuna on Fordola really quick.
What is this?
A sword.
I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
Damn, she was like, so either off yourself or save people. Good choice, Fordola. Good choice. Butcher.
7 hells. It's her. The Butcher.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
Aw. I actually kind of do like Fordola.
Well fought, little Ironvold. That was a near thing. Aye, our stands against the Cleana could have been brief indeed had you not volunteered for guard duty. We'd be enthralled, and surely our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. Security was my responsibility, and I know how dangerous primals can be. I should have. It's my fault, my stupid mistake. Nay, lass. We were all caught unawares. We will take this as a lesson and watch our own more carefully in the future. You can be sure that the lackeys who smuggled in the crystals in the throne room weren't the only thralls in our ranks. The soldiers who first spoke up in favor of the Kiliana, keeping their weapons, springs to mind. A primal servant is betrayed by his aura. If he means to conduct an investigation, I can identify and act as
I can find any others acting under Sri Lakshmi's influence. Thanks, Y'shtola. We'd appreciate the help. Speaking of help, I almost fell over when Fordola turned up, as that was... What was she even doing there? I asked her to come. Explains the whole thing. Oh, that explains it then. It's sad, but Ragnarfrid was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done. But I don't think Fordola picked up that sword for forgiveness. She wanted to fight for her country. If you say the world in which Fordola grew up is partially to blame for what she became, then as an Alamegan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happened right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance, or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people let go of the old grievances and make peace with each other. Thank you, Alfino. The first step will be to get our representatives back in the throne room. They're a little shaken, but not one of them seemed ready to run. We're determined to finish what we started. I will see that you are not interrupted. Little, you and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest, you've earned it. Yes, sir. We're in the garden where we watch Xenos off himself. In game.
A fine spot to contemplate the heavens. The meeting is over. The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people.
Okay, I wasn't sure if my actual overlay popped up or not, but it just covers the bottom left.
It is a fair decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave.
Don't echo.
Forget something? Your Grace, there was no word.
Raubun Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of your seat on the Syndicate.
But, Your Grace...
Raubun, I am no longer a child.
While that is true, you are his baby.
In your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Alamigo.
In a not weird way.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety, and thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
What trust can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Uldar?
Pardon me.
For years and years, we have trusted one another. Yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
I swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies. So follow your heart, please. You are home. You are free.
Nanamo.
Smile for me, Raubarn. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Uldar.
Tomorrow you will serve Alamigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
Yes, Your Grace.
Shooting star, make a wish. Oh, Gunbreaker. That's a cool sword you got there, man. It's definitely one. So many extra cutscenes.
Thanks for shielding us from Lakshmi, you two. If you hadn't been there, the rest of us would be worshipping her by now.
You're kind to include me, Lise, but we both know who did most of the work. I could scarce keep track of the battle, let alone land a telling blow. No shame in admitting it. The Warrior of Light has put far better men than me in the shade.
While that's true, I do appreciate your assistance.
Did I mention that I encountered the Sultana in the palace? It would seem Her Grace has come to Girabania to oversee the final stages of her relocation project. She was in search of General Oldin, and I directed her to the rooftop garden. I do hope he was still there.
He was.
Are you in the habit of gossiping about the affairs of royalty, Master Leveilleur?
Certainly not, Your Grace. I was merely informing my companions.
Be at ease, Alphino. 'Twas only a jest.
I love Nanamo. He's my favorite out of the city-state leaders, other than, no, out of the base three, she's my favorite.
But I must yield the floor to Raubarn. He has an important announcement to make.
As of yesternight, I have been relieved of my post in the Immortal Flames and the Syndicate both.
I shall be assuming my father's duties. And may I say that Tizona has never felt heavier upon my back.
'Twould seem I am in need of employment. Mayhap one of my old acquaintances can introduce me to a mercenary company or some such.
You may be getting on in years, Father, but you'd struggle to find a band of sellswords who wouldn't snap your hand off. Your remaining hand.
Good job, Pippin.
Yes, the bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
Your Grace has developed a wicked edge to her humor, and you, Pippin, would do well not to laugh when the future may hold the same for you.
Alfino's like, what the
Does
frack?
this mean you're staying?
Aye. That seems to be the way of it. I would be glad to aid you in rebuilding our nation, if you'll have me.
I think I've spent like the last 10 minutes in just cutscenes.
Welcome home, Rauban.
Which I'm actually not against because I'm very much so enjoying the vibes. But I'm getting a little hungry, so I hope they end soon.
Well, that was unexpected. Though you seem distinctly unsurprised.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was going to happen.
Either you are more astute than I give you credit for, or I'm losing my touch.
Or I was a part of it.
In any event, one thing is certain. Alamigo will rejoice at the homecoming of her dearest son.
Oh. I think it's about time I head back to Rogger's Reach for what's next for all of you. Alize will be eager to hear of the recent events, so I shall join you if you've no objections. I welcome the company. Why don't you come along to Rogger's Reach as well once you've said your farewells to Nanamo and the others? You'll be able to access the palace rooftops by speaking to them. Ah, well, goodbye everyone. I shall be going to see another cutscene really quick. Oh, they're doing like the herb gathering. Aww. They're in early. Well, here we are again. Alfino has regaled me with the thrilling tale of hidden treasure troves, mid-meeting betrayals, unlikely alliances, and joyous homecomings, and it would seem I missed everything. I was patrolling the palace grounds when Thancred and Y'shtola, when we heard the reports of the primal in the throne room. I honestly doubted my own ears. As others have said, we were lucky to have our Echo-blessed companions, champions, nearby this time. But we'll need to keep a closer ear on the Kuliana. You can say that again. The whole episode has reminded me just how far apart our kinds still are. I can read. It looks like centuries of fear and mistrust can't really be washed away in a day, but someone has to make an effort at reconciliation if these conflicts are ever going to end. Naturally, a lot of people are crying out for vengeance, but I've
been doing my best to calm things down. Violent reprisals will only be led to more summonings. Indeed, violence will ever beget violence. As the Empire has learned to its cost in recent times. In any case, summoning Lakshmi was the Broodmother's doing, and whoever replaces her might not be so keen on the idea. We'll just have to watch and wait. Which isn't to say we won't be putting the safety of our allies in the Vera and the M tribes first. I plan to have the Resistance Scouts keep track of the Kiliana's movements at all times. My parents will be relieved to hear that. And what are your plans for the rest of the Resistance armies? Out of interest, are we to prepare for Imperial counterattacks? That would be a question for the Resistance's newest recruit, a military commander with far more experience than me. What? The Bull of Alamigo? We call it an army, but the Resistance is really a collection of smaller independent groups, and when Conrad passed his command on to me, that authority only extended to the freedom fighters based in Raga's Reach. He just happened to be serving as the Resistance's spokesman at the time. I needed someone to take over the role when everything was in disarray, but that time has passed. When I speak with the other leaders about reforming the army under new government, I'll be nominating Raban as the overall commander of our forces. He has more experience than the rest of us put together, and we stand a lot to learn from him. Indeed. Let's check something really quick. He is, in all respects, an ideal choice. Assuming he accepts the post, Alamigo will have added a formidable weapon to its arsenal. And given the progress of Nanamo's resettlement initiative, I seek greater cause for hope. The seeds which we so carefully sowed have begun to quicken, my friends. I like that. We tend to our promises and watch as Alamigo blooms. Indeed. Ooh. Oh, that's right, because Rise of a New Sun and then Under the Moon.
I do thank the kami that my makeshift raft withstood the fury of the seas. But there's generosity ended. With a coin in our pockets for new attire, we are doomed to look so much jetsam. Oh, woe betide the poor man in the city of rich merchants.
These dango are delicious. Will you have one?
Oh, sweet bread, I surrender my blade to secure what few coin we have.
I love her at this point. She's just such a sweetheart. I like to think this is what she would have been if she wasn't, turned into a murderous being.
Ah, 'tis like talking to a child. What fate saddled me with the burden I shall never know, but I am alive, and I must return to my master's side. Come, Tsuyu. We shall find a ship to carry us across the Ruby Sea.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
Have you word of the reports? First Doma, then Alamigo, and Lord Zenos put to the sword. Do not believe everything you read. I hear Viceroy was merely wounded, and that has already returned to the capital. Naturally, the savages beat their chest and boast loudly of taking his head regardless. Nay, Lord Zenos lives! Deplorable that our own officers would be fooled by Eorzea and misinformation. Small wonder the province has begun rising up in rebellion. We must prepare an official and above all else accurate announcement to quell these pernicious rumors. They would wage war with empty words. Let them produce the Viceroy's remains then. We shall soon put the lie to their claims.
Ooh. Ooh, who's that? Alright. And with that, I shall be ending stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. Daniel, Jin, and Axel. I will be live again tomorrow with 4.2 and maybe some dungeons for fun. But thank you guys for hanging out. I will be, again, going to live again tomorrow, and I'll be having some food now. So take care. Have a lovely night. And bye-bye. If you're new, please like and subscribe. Highly appreciated. And farewell.